I love shoes, you love shoes, who doesn't love shoes? The shoes you wear can either make or break your outfit. They can add a bit of extra pep in your step or a hitch depending on what shoes you have on. And footwear to me is arguably the most fun, the most exciting part of any given outfit. So for today's video, I want to give you my first reading on what I think are going to be the most anticipated models of footwear for the year 2024. Obviously, that's the year we're in. And this year, maybe more so than any other year previous, has so many different variants, versions, and models of footwear that I guarantee by the end of this video, there's going to be one, if not two models of shoes that I mentioned that you'll be excited for once we're done. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Drew. What it do? It's nice to meet you. Let's talk shoes. Okay. So far for me, I'm personally most excited about these Wales Bonner snakeskin Adidas Sambas. Now I can't confirm whether or not the upper of these sneakers are actually snakeskin, but regardless, these look venomous. You see what I did there? You see? That's the type of energy we have for this video right now. Jokester Drew is coming out. These look venomous, okay? A lot of fashion folks have predicted an uptick in popularity of things like leopard print, but I don't think anyone has anticipated or was anticipating something like snakeskin also becoming popular in 2024. And I think that these sneakers could spark a larger movement revolving around snakeskin for the year ahead. Wales Bonner and the Adidas Samba seem to be on an unbelievable tear right now. They just seem to be unstoppable in terms of every drop that comes out. It just seems like every Wales Bonner Adidas Samba that comes out either sells out and has positive feedback from the community, from people who are wearing them, and from just the styling world at large. It's tough to say whether or not the Wales Bonner hype train will subside in 2024, and I personally feel like, in a way, these Wales Bonner Adidas collabs are very similar to what Nike and Virgil Abloh had going on in 2019 with the Off-White The 10 collection. That's what these Wales Bonner Samba collabs feel like to me. The only thing is that Grace Wales Bonner is nowhere near as popular as Virgil Abloh. I think that most people don't even know what Grace Wales Bonner looks like for the most part, where Virgil Abloh was a very popular, very magnetic figure within the fashion world. Grace Wales Bonner seems to be a bit more in the shadows, or not even in the shadows, but just not as big as a personality as Virgil Abloh. Let me know what you think. Do you like the Wales Bonner Adidas Samba collaborations? Do you like this snakeskin variant in particular? I would love to hear your comments about this. Next, we have a long anticipated collaboration between Nike and Bodhi. These are the Nike Astro Grabbers, and from what I'm seeing, there are a lot of mixed reviews about these sneakers so far. A lot of people on one hand are underwhelmed, and on the other, this is exactly what they would expect from a Bodhi Nike collaboration. For some, they're calling this par for the course for Bodhi. My question is the price point. Will this be an item of footwear that has a super elevated price point like a lot of Bodhi products do? Because if it does have that, I think it diminishes this sneaker significantly. Personally, I like the design. It's incredibly simple. It reminds me of like a 70s running Nike waffle shoe. Do I think it's better than the Nike Sacai collabs from previous years? No. Do I think it's better than Nike and Sean Wotherspoon? No. But I do like how simple and clean these shoes are. And in fact, I think that this shoe is a testament to the current era we're living in when it comes to footwear, especially when it comes to sneakers. Now, you of course have your very loud, boisterous, very attention-grabbing sneakers, but I think a lot of the audience, a lot of the consumer base wants sneakers or wants footwear that is kind of like a subtle flex, a subdued item of footwear that doesn't dominate the entire outfit, but still complements things and adds an extra little touch of style, a touch of taste to the outfit. That's exactly what I think the Bodhi Nike Astro Grabbers are. And it's true, clean shoes are wearable. Loud shoes, a lot of times you buy a loud shoe, you get really excited about it, and you end up finding out that you just can't wear it as much as you would like to, and it ends up collecting a lot of dust on your shelf or something like that. Oh yeah, side note, one collab I really loved last year from Nike was the Nike Jack Moose collab, and I still think that collaboration was better than this one. We'll see. I don't know what this shoe looks like in hand. I've only seen the images based off of lookbook imagery and editorial imagery. Shout out to Tristan Payne for being one of the models for that lookbook. That's actually really cool for him. I've seen his arc on YouTube, and it's been really interesting to follow his story. But regardless, if you know him, you know what I'm talking about. But Bodie, Nike. What are we thinking, famo? What do we think about this? Is it hot or not? Next, let's talk about New Balance. As you can see, we're on a sneaker roll right now. Honestly, I've been wearing New Balances less and less and less, which makes me incredibly sad. Do you see how sad I am? Do you see it? I love New Balance as a brand, and of the major sneaker companies, I think New Balance makes the best sneakers. By best, I mean that they tend to have the highest quality materials. They have the best general release pairs of New Balances. Like, they don't need collaborations to carry the brand. I think objectively, New Balances, they look good. They look good. They're no longer the dad shoe we associate them with. They're a cool shoe. Regardless, I think for 2024, the most anticipated sneaker for the year for New Balance will be the New Balance 1906R. This is going to be the most popular model, I think, for the year. And I think it probably was the most popular model Q3, Q4 of 2023. From what I've seen at Paris Fashion Week, there is a ton, and I do mean a ton, of interest being generated from the 1906R. Most notably, the Junya Watanabe collab, which is a midsole and outsole of the 1906R, retrofitted with a loafer upper half. Really interesting, really dynamic looking shoe. Not really my cup of tea, but definitely really cool. In fact, I don't know how many people are actually going to pull this shoe off. It's going to be really interesting. But when they do pull it off, when I see it online, when I see it in the streets of New York City, it's going to be like, oh, that's cool. I'm not going to be like blown away by this pairing. I think it's a cool shoe, but it's going to be for a particular type of person. Last year, I believe it was last year, Aimé Leon Dore also got a 1906R. So I think there's a lot of attention, a lot of love going to the 1906R. And I think that'll continue through the spring, through the summer, and it'll probably be the most anticipated model for New Balance. There's some other models that I thought in the past would break through. There was this really interesting, like almost futuristic New Balance. I can't remember the name of it right now. Kind of looked like a New Balance Yeezy. If I honestly, I couldn't. That's the best way I can describe it. It looked like a New Balance Yeezy, but that didn't really pop off. But I think the 1906R will be the most anticipated model. Before I forget, there was another 1906R that was a collaboration between 99 Ginger. I have no idea about this company. I don't know much about it, but it was kind of this like patent crocodile leather looking 1906R that was like this dark green. It looked really, really cool. I think it was a friends and family pair. Awesome pair of sneakers. Really beautiful pair of sneakers. But it got my wheels turning again, thinking about footwear, thinking about patterns, thinking about animal prints. And I think that this shoe is another example of a different animal print textile, even though it's not actual crocodile. It looks like crocodile. Similar to the Adidas Samba snakeskin, where you're going to see more animal prints and animal patterns on footwear. You're going to see more people using faux animal prints to style. And I think the 1906R with this colorway, with the collaboration with the 99 Ginger brand, that I don't even know if that's the way you're pronouncing it or not, but this collaboration will be something that also sparks more curiosity for people wearing more animal prints and animal textures. Okay, Drew, go off on the beat. You was talking fast right there, my boy. That was fast. So I think the 1906R will be the most popular model coming from New Balance. It'll get a lot of collaborations, and the collaborations that it's already garnering are going to continue to ride the wave of popularity into people wanting to just get the general release versions of this shoe as well. But there's another important collab that I do want to talk about for New Balance that is for women's wear in particular. And that collab is the Miu Miu New Balance 530s. I think that this is sort of a big-ish deal for both Miu Miu, for New Balance, and for just women's wear sneakers and footwear. Because a lot of times when it comes to women's wear, when it comes to women's shoes that are specifically made for a full-size run of women's sizing, women don't get the same amount of love and attention that men do when it comes to these type of collaborations. 530, interestingly enough, at least from what I've observed, is much more popular with women than it is with men. So I think this collab makes a lot of sense that Miu Miu decided to do the 530. In my opinion, I like the darker brown colorway the most. I think it looks the best. I also personally like the deconstructed look. I know a lot of people have, once again, mixed reviews about this collaboration because they think it's just a somewhat lazy collab. But I think deconstructing a shoe and kind of making it your own is not easy to do. I think Miu Miu did a tasteful job. I know some people disagree, but to that I say, comme c'est comme ça. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato, Drew, what it do? The sun is coming in and infiltrating my lighting once again. But I love the sun. I love natural lighting. Honestly, when it comes to this Miu Miu 530, I might have to get a pair for Lauren. We don't know. Lauren, if you're watching this, you didn't hear me. But these are cool. I think these are going to be really cool for 2024. Something that I never, ever do is talk about Jordans. I rarely talk about Jordans. I wouldn't say never. I just rarely talk about Jordans. But there's one Jordan release that I just can't ignore. And it is the Jordan 11 Low Space Jams. Welcome to the Space Jam. Very few Jordans are as iconic and as good looking as the 11 Low Space Jams. I remember being a middle schooler or maybe a early high schooler, and any kid who had a pair of Space Jams or just actually any pair of Jordan 11 Lows, they were the cool kid. You know what I mean? It was the cool dude. It was the dude who had a girl around his arm. He probably didn't do that well in class, but regardless, he looked cool. He was the man on campus. Even though I don't have a campus when I'm in high school, he was the man on the schoolyard. He was the cool guy, right? So for me, I have a very emotional feeling when it comes to Jordan 11s. They have, I think, in my opinion, fallen out of like high fashion favor. Like I don't think a lot of people in high fashion are styling themselves in Jordan 11 Lows, but I think for a lot of the black community and a lot of people in inner cities and whatnot, like Jordans are still Jordans. Jordans are still it. And I think that a lot of people, and for sneakerheads as well, Jordans will always be it. So these shoes are going to be a big deal. They're re-releasing, I'm pretty sure. And maybe I'll pick up a pair. I don't know. Maybe I'll fulfill a childhood dream that I've always had, which is to have a pair of Jordan 11 Lows in the Space Jam version. That'd be cool. Okay, that is my sneaker roundup. Let's talk about boots and just other forms of footwear. There's more than just sneakers out there to all my sneakerheads, okay? There's more than just sneakers. The most anticipated pair of boots, in my opinion, for this year so far are the Louis Vuitton Timberlands. Now, I think that there are 8 or 9 variants that have been showcased up until this point. And when the original kind of teasing happened for the LV Tims, most people were like, yo, Pharrell, bruh, homie, what is you doing? This is not it. But I think now more and more people are recognizing that there's going to be multiple variants. There's going to be some variants that are going to be more subtle, some that are louder. And I think that, honestly, there's certain versions of these Tim LV boots that look really, really good. They look really, really good. Not saying that I would go out of my way to spend thousands of dollars to buy them because they'll probably retail for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000+ potentially. And I don't have that kind of cash for a pair of Timberlands. But I think right now Timberlands are the most popular boot, arguably the most popular shoe in the world, especially when you're looking at online media and the shoes that are just popular. I think Tims are just incredibly popular right now. And Louis Vuitton has always been one of the most gravitating, most magnetic, most attention-grabbing collaborators, dating all the way back from, when they collab with Supreme, and they've done several other collabs that have just been really, really pivotal collaborations in the fashion world, especially in the streetwear and the culture world. So I think that these are going to have that same impact in 2024. It'll be a big moment for Pharrell as well. I think what we already saw from Paris Fashion Week and people's response to the showcasing of the clothing that he put out is really interesting as well. So I think these are going to be a big moment for 2024 footwear. One of the coolest brands bubbling up right now is a brand that you may or may not have heard of, and it's called Post Archive Faction. I was going to say fashion. It's called Post Archive Faction. It is a South Korean menswear brand known for eye-catchingly beautiful and stunning, just truly stunning pieces. And Post Archive Faction is collaborating with On Cloud on a silhouette they're calling the Monster. It is the Post Archive Faction On Cloud Monsters. That's the official name. And to me, these look fantastic. A bit more niche, in my opinion, are these shoes, but I said that like Yoda. I don't know why I said that like that. But these look really, really cool. They're subtle. They have just a really interesting design language that not a lot of shoes have. And I think it's a relatively, like I said, niche, most anticipated item of footwear. So these were originally announced back in 2023, but I think they're getting a spring summer 2024 release. Keep your eye out on these. If you care about post-archive faction, then you already are hip to these. If you haven't heard about post-archive faction, or if you just don't know about On Cloud, these brands are two brands that I've been sleeping on, honestly, that I have not really kept my tabs on as much as I should have. But now I'm a bit turned on to it. Usually it takes a footwear collab or a really interesting item of footwear for me to kind of dial in my interest when it comes to a particular brand. And this collaboration has especially done that for me. If you're sleeping and I'm sleeping, we both need to wake up. Next, we have a menswear shoe that I think will continue to grow in popularity in 2024. The Para Boot Michaels have steadily increased their, I was going to say user base, but that sounds like a website thing, but I'm going to say user base. They've steadily increased their user base. They've had more people wearing them over the last 18 months, and it's pretty significant, I would say, over the last 18 months. I think one of the best examples of this was at Pitti Uomo, I don't know how to say Italian, but at Pitti, which is basically one of the most important menswear events of the entire year, just happened, and a good chunk of menswear enthusiasts were decorating their outfits with Para Boot Michaels. At least that's true from the source that I got them from. If I'm wrong about that, just come for me in the comments, okay? I'll take that one on the chest if I'm wrong about that. Just like I'm taking this sun beaming on my chest. Thank you, sun. You're still here with me though. Like, it's this kind of stuff, it doesn't bother us, right? We're still here together, just talking about footwear, just hanging out. You and me, pals, buddies, friends, comrades, confidants, amis, amigos, amigas. Back to the Para Boot Michaels. I actually tried on a pair of these here in Brooklyn at Todd Snyder. I like these shoes a lot. Collegium has a version that is very similar. I think the Para Boot, the Michaels version, the leather is really thick. The outsole is really rigid. These feel like really high quality shoes. They take some time to break in, and they're a really interesting silhouette. I think that it's a great example of kind of progression of menswear styling and progression of the fashion world moving away from sneakers, but wanting something that still has that sneaker kind of feel to it, but also, how do I say, isn't too formal, if that makes sense as well. Now, I've talked about menswear and sneakers a lot during this video, but what about women's wear? From what I'm seeing, there's going to be a strong presence of these three specific varying versions of shoes. One, I would say ballet flats, which I would categorize and put in that category something like Mary Jane's. Two, kitten heels, and three, some form of loafer. Now, for me, I perceive women's wear to be a lot more dynamic than menswear when it comes to footwear in particular. Like, when I think about men's shoes versus women's shoes, there's a ton of crossover, meaning that, you know, women are also wearing Timberlands, women are also wearing Adidas Sambas, so are men. And so when I'm trying to think about things that are just specifically for women, I think about the more cliche types of feminine items of footwear, right? You don't see men wearing kitten heels. You don't see men wearing Mary Janes. You don't see men wearing ballet flats. At least you don't see it a lot, right? You may see it from a particular community, but you don't see it from the macro, right? And so for me, like, I think that those items of footwear, as there's more versions that come about, maybe there's versions that have interesting kind of lace systems, versions that have different types of straps, versions that have different types of bows or flower motifs. These things will continue to perpetuate in the industry, and they will be, I think, some of the most anticipated items of footwear. I don't think we're anywhere near being out of the bow ribbon trend. I think they're going to see that more. Some people are talking about leopard print. I see a lot of loafers. I see a lot of really cool things. But if you're someone who is a part of this community, who is a woman and has other ideas about what you're seeing for women's wear, let me know down in the comments. I know last year, one of the coolest, it was a sneaker, but one of the coolest sneaker collabs that happened was Ganni and New Balance. That was a really cool collab that I thought that whenever I saw Ganni New Balances on a girl walking around, like, I always thought, damn, that's fire. That's so cool. And I talked about the Miu Miu 530. So that is my early report on most anticipated footwear for the year. I love footwear. I really love footwear. I can just kind of go off the cuff and talk about footwear. That's how much I like it so much. Usually I have to kind of let my ideas develop as I'm thinking about a video, but for footwear, nah, I could just talk. Which I love that. And maybe I'll do a video talking about sustainable footwear as well, because I think that the conversation in and around sustainability has dwindled significantly, not only from my standpoint, but from an industry standpoint as well. So I think we need to start talking about sustainability again in 2024 and what can actually be done. Regardless, hopefully you enjoyed the video. As per always, hopefully you enjoyed the video. As always, I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity in 2024. So that means I'm spreading peace, love, and positivity to you and more. Wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful, and I do mean that, have a wonderful rest of your day. Abianto. Peace. Yo, what is good? Post vid. Here's a fist bump for the one time. Bop. Thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. Here's another fist bump because you deserve it. Bop. Thank you. Thank you guys. Seriously, it means the world to me to have you guys a part of the post vid for the post vid question of the day. So far, what would you say are or is your most worn pair of shoes in 2024 so far? The year has just begun. We're almost in February. We're almost in the second month of the year, which time flies. Time do be flying. You know what I mean? Time do be flying. But for me, I would say it's been the Sean Wotherspoon. I spoke about Sean Wotherspoon earlier, but the Sean Wotherspoon Adidas Gazelles. These are a hemp shoe comprised of a hemp upper and a cork insole. So Sean is trying to do things that are somewhat more sustainable, somewhat more biodegradable. I thought that was a cool attempt. And these shoes look really, really cool. Adidas Gazelles, the indoor variant. These are really cool. Comment down below, #PVV. What is your most worn pair of 2024 so far? If you're watching this and it's like June of 2024 or like March or something like that, still comment it down. I would love to scroll back and see what you put. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this community. It means the world to me, and we'll see you as soon as we see you, hopefully next week. All right, guys. Peace.